Welcome to the Sports Beer Jokes YouTube channel. This is the first episode of Monday Night Brew. As always, if you like watching sports, drinking beer, and chopping it up with your buddies, stick around, subscribe, because this is a good-ass place. I know I don't sound enthusiastic right now. Not a great way to start off our first episode, but we're going to get into it. If you're new here, I'm a big-time LSU Tiger fan, and I am really upset and honestly really pissed off about the result of the game last night against USC. I usually come in here and I make jokes and I say outlandish shit and I try to be entertaining, but I don't know if I can do that right now because I'm so pissed, and I'm going to try to keep a level head, not raise my voice. I already went on TikTok earlier today and, raised all hell and screamed into the phone. I don't want to do that again. So let's just talk about the game. Big takeaways for the season long term are kind of good. Nuss looked great. Lacey looked like he could win the frickin' Bolitnikov. Defense looked astronomically better with Blake Baker and the new staff. So am I going to sit here today and act like the season's over and we're absolutely cooked? Absolutely not. And I don't think any LSU fan thinks that if they're being realistic. But at the same time, I hold this team to a very high standard. We are the Fighting Tigers of LSU. We epitomize great football. And to not have won an opener since the national championship season in 2019 with Joe Burrow and all those guys, that's unacceptable. And I just have a really bad taste in my mouth all last night and all today. It's completely ruined my mood. I don't want to use the word devastated, but very violently depressed. We just weren't able to stack possessions when we really needed to stack possessions. When our defense would get a stop, our offense couldn't do anything, and vice versa. And that really hurt us. The play of the game, in my opinion, was that 3rd and 1 with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We actually had 2 opportunities, this one being the second, to go down the field, put the ball in the end zone, and go up by 2 possessions late in the fourth, and that probably ices the game. And we couldn't freaking execute, dude. And it just makes my blood boil to think about, because that was such a winnable football game. I truthfully believe that at our best, we are better than USC. We should have won that game last night, and it just drives me crazy that we couldn't go and finish the game. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to call out that offensive line because we're supposed to be the best offensive line in college football. That was supposed to be the strongest unit on our team. And on that pivotal 3rd and 1, BK and the coach, whoever's calling plays, wanted to lean on the offensive line. And I completely understand that. You want to go to your best players in the most crucial moment. And that's what we did. We called a run play, get behind our offensive line. We got to get under their fucking pads, get some push up front, and get a yard. We need to get a yard in that moment when our offensive line is all that it's hyped up to be. I really would have liked us to put the ball in Nuss's hands in that situation. Like I said, I understand the thought process. Hindsight is always 20/20. And we wanted to lean on our best players in that moment, and our best players are supposed to be our offensive line. So I get the idea, but man, in hindsight, bro, I really would have loved if Nuss had an opportunity to convert that 3rd down and keep that drive going. Who knows? We probably win. Now, the freaking Kyron Lacey and Major Burns unsportsmanlike conducts or whatever they were, personal fouls after the play, like taunting players, those were crucial, man. And those, I don't want to say they lost us the game because it's a lot of things that lose a football game, but that definitely played a role. Both of them led to points, and both of them are so unnecessary and honestly selfish. And that just kind of goes back to my big thing. We were soft last night. Getting unsportsmanlike conducts that lead to points for the other team, that's soft. That is undisciplined. That's not what killer mentality teams do. That's not what laser-focused, great championship caliber teams do. So, as Green Day once said, another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. We're at a fucking crossroad right now. There's a fork in the road. We can go left or go right. What kind of team do we want to be? Because we can be good. I think we're going to be good. But if we're going to play soft and play selfish, we might win 9 games. We might win 10 games. We're good. We're talented. But there's a 12-team playoff this year. It's not like previous years. A one-loss team can win the Natty. We are still very much in the race. Are we going to flip that switch and be a great team with a killer mentality, with a fucking Mamba mentality, killer instinct, where we're going to finish games, where we're going to go down the field and go up 11 in the fourth quarter, where we're not going to have selfish, unsportsmanlike conduct calls that lead to other points, where we're not going to leave crucial points on the board when we're in the red zone with an opportunity to score a touchdown. But that's all I'm going to say about LSU. I hope the boys turn it around. We got Nichols next week. Let's try to avoid another Troy 2.0, get on the win column, and then take it from there. Outside of that shit, it was great to have college football back. I spent the entire Saturday on my couch watching football. It was beautiful. I didn't see any friends. I didn't work out. I didn't go to any bars or anything like that. I didn't do shit except watch college football, and it was electrifying. Cam Ward, you're going to look really good in black and gold, let me tell you. That dude is a nonchalant, stud. He literally had me wheezing of laughter just walking around the field. He doesn't care. It actually looks like he doesn't care. He's out there just trying shit. That game I had in Boston, game 6, got to the point where I was out there trying shit.
One leg off the wrong foot, bump fades off my right shoulder. I'm not even a right shoulder bump fade guy. I mean, I think I started the game like 8 for 8. Every time I was shooting, it just felt so perfect, and it was barely touching the net. Like a bird just goes straight through the water.
I had one coach, and he used to say, put yourself in situations where you're not comfortable.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying.
That's the kind of swag that the New Orleans Saints are in desperate need of. And I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to believe it into existence. We are going to draft Cam Ward in the 2025 draft. Mark my words. Put a pin in it and come back later to tell me how much ball I know. Let's do a quick little recap of the other games. Obviously, Ole Miss and Bama just played some bums. Like, I wish we get to play Furman or Western Kentucky. I already got those boys in my TikTok and Instagram comments talking all that shit because we're 0-1. I expect it. Obviously, I understand. I'd probably be doing the same thing. But my response is October 12th and November 9th. We talk with our fucking pads. I know I was just hard on my guys, but that's tough love, man. I believe in my boys. I believe in them, and I'm betting on them all the way. We got a long journey ahead of us. I watched the A&M and Notre Dame game. I do believe that A&M did a good job hiring Mike Elko. I think that's a great hire. Their defense looked really good, but their quarterback, Wigman, whatever his name is, I can't say the same. I don't think he's that guy. I'm sorry. All I'm going to say is when Notre Dame scored at the end and A&M still had an opportunity with about 2 minutes left to go down and tie the game and force overtime, I just knew in my gut they weren't going to do it because their quarterback isn't cut from that cloth. Switching to the other side of the ball, Notre Dame. Whew, I'm a big fan of Marcus Freeman. Did y'all see pre-game before Notre Dame ran out the tunnel how fired up Marcus Freeman was? That made me want to run through a wall. And even throughout the entirety of the game, he just kept on getting so hyped for his players whenever they made plays, and it made me really like him. That's a great coach. Now, their quarterback, Riley Leonard, he looked solid. He wasn't bad, but I do want to see a little bit more from him. He didn't move me, but he did enough to win, and that's all that matters. He still got a whole season to progress and get better. The third game I watched was actually the first game I watched was Clemson, Georgia, and Georgia is exactly who we expected them to be. Clemson is just stuck in their ways. I am not a Dabo hater. I still am a Dabo believer, but man, he needs to adapt to the new landscape of college football. What worked in the 2010s is not going to work in the 2020s. And the ACC is wide open because Florida State sucks. Florida State is not good. They fell off a cliff. But it's not wide open for Clemson because they're not that good either. It's wide open for Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes, who are the favorites to win that conference without a shadow of a doubt now. Episode 2 of this is going to be a lot longer because NFL starts next weekend. I'm fired up. Who dat? Go Tigers. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Come on!